Greetings, and welcome to Rockland Rebel Radio. In about 10 or so minutes, we'll be right back on schedule, giving you what we've been listening to, music news, and more, and including a review. Just give us a little bit of time and enjoy the tunes.
I don't know where I'll go when the gates open in the morning. Maybe to my mother's house, if she'll open up the door. But the last time that I saw her, she looked me in the eye, said she didn't want to see my face again till the day that she died. Oh. And it's been 3 long years since I've been on the outside, losing track of the passage of time. I hope her house is still where I left it. I got nowhere else to turn. But if she's gone when I get there, it'll be what I deserve. Oh, I don't got no spine for this. I don't think I can take it to go back on my hands and knees to her today. All I ever wanted was a hug and kiss and the assurance that everything would be okay. Love was never worth it. She could say no. Oh, I never once earned her love. Being her blood just wasn't enough. And what I done didn't help at all. Oh.
Baby, I'm broken, unwell spoken, mildly infatuated, highly uneducated, probably inebriated, selfishly deviated, self-medicated, purposely vegetated. Baby, I'm perfect, teeth of a derelict, lisp of a cigarette, talk like an idiot, listen to the radio, frolic in the marigolds, ignorance is stereo.
Turning up the volume. Transitioning. It'll be a little bit quiet, but I should probably turn you off. All right. Oh, my hair looks like a fucking rat mess.
DJ, turn up the tunes. Crank up the volume of the manslaughter.
How do we sound?
I don't know. I never know.
You never know?
Never know.
All right. Well,
Nobody knows.
You're
The trouble I've seen.
Why do I hang out with? Why are you my brother? Oh boy. Let's see. We sound good though. Everything sounds. We should probably actually drop the main a little bit down. Hello. Hey. Greetings. That didn't peak at all, so we're good.
Fucked.
How'd you done fucked?
I done fucked. I done fucked.
All right. Cool. Let's see. We look fine up there.
How long
Look
till you get
fine.
your AC in here?
I'll probably get my AC in here within the week.
I don't know how you live like this.
I mean, it doesn't really get this hot. This is just the hottest it gets. All right, but we sound good. All right, so I will take these off. Stop the music.
I think that's one giant. I thought that was a lot of dirt, but I think that's just one big scab.
Yeah, it could be.
It's nasty.
Let's see. Pause that.
I think it's just one big scab. I can't really tell. It feels like just a
Yeah.
big scab. It's
All right.
nasty. It's really gross. It's cool.
Are you ready, Angus?
I guess so.
All right. Well then, the.
Let
me just double check one more time. Let's hear it. All right. All right. Cool. So the 51st episode of Rockland Rebel
I
Radio.
want to see how that looks on on a waveform. Just
The 51st episode of Rockland Rebel Radio will begin recording in 3, 2, 1. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the latest broadcast of Rockland Rebel Radio, a mostly local music podcast. I'm your host, Ian Garland, and with me is my brother and co-host, Angus Garland. That didn't show up at the waveforms
Wait,
at
what?
all. There was a little nibble right there.
what? Really?
I-
What the fuck?
Maybe you're
I'm
not
like
loud.
showing up. I'm showing up in the yellow when I do that.
Maybe I'll change the. Let's see. What's the
Yeah.
recording volume on that?
I show up in the yellow on the mixer. That's weird.
I'll increase the recording volume. That'll probably do a
guess
little bit
so.
better there. Yes. Yes.
I feel like even when I do try, the waveforms are just tiny.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Sound is weird.
It's just, you know. This is the one thing I hate about audio.
I love all these logical thoughts coming out of Angus's mouth this afternoon. It
Oh.
just feels refreshing.
What logic?
Exactly.
Oh, 420
Whoa.
with an extra zero.
Ho, damn.
Glossy cards, boys.
Nice. But we're not here to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Today. We're here to talk about music we've been listening to this week, the review of the week, music news that's involved somehow with either of those two, and then we'll end the show there. And now this week's review is going to be They Don't End Pretty. They debut full-length release of Hadley-based punk band Snowhaus. But we won't get to that quite yet. We're going to be getting to what we've been listening to these last week and whatnot. Kind of dive into a little bit of that. So, Angus, do you have like one or two things you want to talk about this week?
Sure. I got you, boy.
You got me?
Boyo.
Do you have me?
Boy. I just wanted to end that with some like noise that sounded like I was very disgusted for some reason.
Oh, I mean,
I
you
did.
You did. You
Yeah.
did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good times. Just, I gotta. So, the real question is, what did I listen to this week?
Yes, that is
trying
certainly
to
the
remember.
question.
I know. I was trying to make it a thing to be like, hey, we saw Varials and Counterparts last week. I should listen to both their something from each of them like this week and be like, hey, it's very, very convenient that I listened to both something from both of them, but only ended up listening to the Counterparts for that.
Well, I mean, honestly, like, out of the two, I would say listen to Counterparts aside and, like, forget about Varials. I mean, like, I like say, like, if I had to weigh the two on a scale and have to pick one, it would be Counterparts.
I did, like, listen to the Varials thing once, but, so, like, it's not enough to actually even be, like, have some, like, deep, complex, meaningful thoughts on it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Or at least try to sound like a douchebag, one of the two.
All right.
Both usually the same. But I need to change your mind about what you said because you have not heard the recording.
You know what? You'll probably have to fix that this week then.
Yeah, well. But yeah, I ended up listening to a Counterparts album. It was their album from last year.
Was it their most recent one?
Yeah, it's You're Not You Anymore.
Yeah, all right. I know the album you're talking about. Well, I mean, so when I was hanging out with Tom, he was suggesting that when I have the time just to sit down and veg out, to put on the title track. They have a music video out for it and just absorb it because he said it would be a beautiful listening and viewing experience. And yeah, I definitely would like to pass on that message to you now.
Yeah, that I'll check it out. But yeah, the album was an enjoyable experience. It was good shit. But actually, I'm trying to think. I think they played most of this at the Amir show.
I think they may have.
I remember hearing some certain songs from it. Like I think it was "Swim Beneath My Skin" was on there, or was it "Servant of Mine"? It was No "Servant of Mine" was one of the songs I remember them playing. With because it has just one part at the end where it's just kind of like that guitar doing that whole like has that what's it kind of a delay pedal going on, and they're just like going ham at like playing that like E string, that high E, just like that, just crazy shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun times. But yeah, no, it was fun. I enjoyed listening to it. I don't know. What are thoughts I should be having?
Thoughts you should be having are, how can I make myself louder?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think it's just cursed because I'm in the yellow on the mixer. I'm in the yellow.
You kind of get to points where you're like muttering, Doug.
I don't know.
Like,
I got nothing to say. I don't have words. That peaked.
Ooh.
Hard.
Well, ouch. Youch.
You make this lo-fi and sound like an indie thing and just yell at the mixer until it just peaks the entire time. Just always on red. Make it sound like an indie EP.
I mean, if you really wanted to, you could do just that.
You should make a podcast that just sounds like an indie rock EP. Just
yeah.
Lo-fi.
Yeah. Wait.
It's like 10 seconds. It's like 10 minutes long.
I'm going to pause here real quick. Just
Do it.
check something. Actually, stop.
What? Mike? Oh, it was doing the... it switched again, didn't it?
It switched. Yeah, that's why. So we're gonna just redo the opening of this podcast here.
Yep.
Control A, delete all of you because you sound like utter garbage. Good. Delete that. Now we're going back to recording.
Delete.
We will be recording the
Delete,
51st episode
delete,
of Rockland
delete.
Rebel Radio.
Be a YouTube
in
moderator and
3,
delete it.
2,
79.
1. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the latest broadcast of Rockland Rebel Radio, a mostly local music podcast. I'm your host, Ian Garland, and with me is my brother and co-host, Angus Garland.
Still the second time. It just sucks.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
I mean, you gotta put more body, more force behind that.
Did that work?
I kind of did. It kind of at the end of my waveform.
I tried.
Yeah, you did good. You did good.
No, it was not good enough.
You did okay.
Some
I will
people
give you that.
say we've gone too far, but I say we haven't gone far enough.
You say that every day, man.
Yeah.
But to rehash, because the first recording got a little bit mauled, we will be talking about what we've been listening to this last week. We'll be talking about the review topic of the week, They Don't End Pretty, the new debut full-length record from Snowhaus. And then we'll be diving into a little bit of music news, and then we'll end the show from there. Now, Angus, you were talking about counterparts. Do you want to just refresh us a little bit since...
Yes.
Yes.
Should I the long version or the short version?
Hit us with a short version. Why not?
All right, the short version. Do you? That was a reference. Movies. Yeah, I listened to a Counterparts album this week because I thought it'd be fitting since we saw them for the first time last week at the Amir show.
Huh. And what was the album called again?
It was called You're Not You Anymore.
Right. They also have a music video that Tom recommended me to at the show. He told me, like, veg out, just enjoy it, watch it, process everything. Only that. Don't watch anything else but that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, that's my message I have to pass on to you and pass on to anyone else that's interested in Counterparts. But what did you think of the record? How did it make you feel?
We'll see. It started when my parents, when I was just very small, but it was fun and I was enjoying it, and I listened to it multiple times in one day because it was just like when I was listening to it was like I need to kind of hear this kind of like music where it's just both angry and melodic, and it's just like it's fun. I like it. It kind of has like that sort of like Thrice kind of feel to it, but not as old Thrice, like second or third album.
All right.
And so it was kind of good stuff. It was funny when I remember Tom was being like, "Oh, like I love this band. You guys need to hear this." I was just like, and then I heard it, and I just heard that mix of both of just like this like melodic guitar playing, and then this mix of just crazy, just hardcore kind of stuff. I was just like, yeah, this is like, I feel like this is like Tom O'Malley put into music. Well, it's like I can hear that. I'm like, after listening to Robin Wood, I'm like, yeah, I can see why Tom likes this, and it's good stuff. He's correct in saying they're good music, good band.
That is good.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I think I will definitely have to listen to Counterparts this week and just really try and process why Tom, why Andrew, and from what I understand, why even Derek loves them so much.
I can see why Andrew likes them. Their lead guitarist plays a Fender Jaguar. No, it was a Mustang or a Jaguar.
Do you just
No, sorry, it was a Jazzmaster. They were playing a Fender Jazzmaster, I think.
Do you have just some sort of weird conspiracy where everything like goes back to the Caps and like Ethan's insistence on like using Fender guitars?
Yes.
You're a crazy man,
Jaguar?
Angus.
I'm trying to remember if it was a Jaguar or Jazzmaster. I think it was a Jazzmaster. I should know. It's like they were using that same guitar that like Kurt Cobain used. I'm gonna look it up. Fender Jazzmaster. Yeah, they were using a Jazzmaster, and I think Andrew uses one of those too.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's cool. That's coolio.
I feel like Tom. Yeah, Ethan Powell's behind all of this. He's just spreading the Fender. I feel like he works for Fender, and he's just like an informant.
What if he is? What if he is an informant, Angus? How
We'll
do you
find
feel?
out if we never hear from me ever again.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've learned too much.
You must be eliminated, Angus.
Fuck.
Good job.
Yeah.
But I ended up listening to something kind of interesting this week. So you heard a little snippets of it, but I ended up checking out the full release of the new At the Gates album, To Drink from the Night Itself. Now, do you want to know why At the Gates is really important?
I guess I have no choice.
So At the Gates, I believe it was their 95 album, Slaughter of the Soul, is one of the hallmark releases. Right behind your head, dude.
No.
Oh, all right. Okay. But anywho, At the Gates is Slaughter of the Soul. It's a hallmark release in the melodic death scene, as many cite it as the inspiration for a lot of modern metalcore. Because this album basically inspired a lot of bands, like a lot of like the American melodic death scene, like Black Dahlia Murder and whatnot. I believe some bands similar to there's a band that was kind of a melodic metalcore-ish band. They're kind of from the area, but they were like really big. Can't remember it entirely. But point is that they inspired a lot of bands that ended up shaping the modern metal scene in America, and they just released a new album just the other day, and a lot of people love it. It's a beautiful return to form, people say, after some critics citing that the last album, At War with Reality, really just kind of retreaded on the path of Slaughter of the Soul and really did nothing new. I think it's kind of worse in the sense that the mastering is a lot worse than it was on Slaughter. No. The mastering for this new album, To Drink from the Night itself, is a little bit worse than the mastering in At War with Reality. Because in At War with Reality, the sounds were a lot more there, a lot more vibrant, a lot more powerful, whereas on To Drink from the Night itself, it sounds really compressed inwards, and you don't really get a lot of loudness from it unless you turn it all the way up, and you'll hear everything at the same level. And it's just, I don't know, I feel like they've been doing that. They've cut a lot of power out of the vocals, a lot of strength out of the drums, and the guitars, they just overpower everything because of the way it's mastered like that. I still enjoy it though, because the album's extremely creative and uses a lot of like neat little thematic pieces that have been present in At the Gates since like Slaughter of the Soul. Also, just to like let you know, like Slaughter of the Soul was one of their only big releases in that 15-year span between Slaughter and At War with Reality. So it's like when you see new material from this band, you just kind of like get, holy crap, these guys are coming back with new stuff.
Yeah.
I wish you could listen to this so I could get more out of this conversation.
Yeah.
But honestly, with certain tracks, like say the title track itself, it just has really powerful driving guitars that are extremely characteristic of At the Gates and extremely characteristic of like bands that you love, like the Black Dahlia Murder and whatnot. And his vocal stylings, his vocal stylings just really lend itself to the album and just the sound itself very beautifully. Tom Lindberg's like scream vocals, I just love them so much. It's just really unique, a really solid uniqueness to them. Yeah. I mean, do you have any input about
No,
it?
I literally have nothing.
All right, that's perfectly fine, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's all I really have to say about it, other than it was at least another enjoyable At the Gates release, and I mean, listen for yourself and enjoy it. Pitchfork and other publications, probably the Needle Drop is gonna rate it pretty highly. I myself, kind of here and there, it's pretty enjoyable, but like the mix kind of sucks and the mastering kind of sucks. It was probably done that way just so that the vinyl release sounds similar to the digital release. And yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. Angus,
Yeah.
hit me with something you've been listening to.
I have to think what I've been listening to, because I've just been listening to a lot of one-offs of like a bunch of albums, because I haven't really had anything to consistently listen to.
Alright.
I don't know. I've just been really not really needing to listen to much, except for just kind of like not sitting around in complete total silence. I hadn't really had anything that I needed to listen to. I'm trying to think what I did at least kind of trying to think.
Closer to the mic, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it close to me. I'm trying to think of what I even listened to this week.
Take your time. Take your time.
So I know I listened to that bit of that Strung Out album, and I've kind of been listening to some of the newer, some of the other albums from Thrice. I don't know if I was talking about that already or not.
I don't think you've mentioned Thrice in a while.
Yeah, well, I went back to listen to their second and third album again, and they're actually a lot better than I remembered. It actually kind of, I guess they are kind of better than their first album than originally. Like what I originally thought, like they're not as good, but like I was listening to their third album again, and just like it is like the just all like the skill on everything, the guitar work, the vocal work, it actually got a lot better too, and everything kind of has a bit more. There's a bit more of like it's not just a steady straight rhythm anymore, and it's kind of it's fun. It was their album, The Artist in the Ambulance. It's from 2003. It's where you can start to hear the vocalist balls finally drop for the first time.
Well, like his voice gets a lot deeper, and he aims for like that lower register a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, he gets more of just like that Tom O'Malley kind of yell going on. Which like is like a staple of like everything after this album is just that kind of vocal work.
That's interesting. Like around what time was this release?
2003.
2003. All right. And how many more releases came out after this?
I'm trying to think. I think there was like 4 or 5 other, at least, or somewhere around 5 other albums that happened after this. There was like then an album in 2005, another one in 2007. I think there's like 3 others.
All right.
I had never like fully listened to everything from them yet.
I mean, that's pretty something. That's pretty cool. I will give it that. So you would say it. I think we were driving around a couple times. I think I was driving you up to New Hampshire for one thing. You played a lot of Thrice in the car. Was that the very first album you were playing?
Trying to think. Was it? I'm trying to remember New Hampshire.
It was like, it may have been. It was around the time we were going up to the bungalow to. No, not around that time. Actually, it may have been like in December-ish, I think.
I don't really remember that. I remember I played the album we're talking about now on the way to the Cape for 10 Top.
Oh, it's this album. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I remember this. This was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I wasn't really paying attention to it much because I was focusing a lot on the road, but I mean, I liked what I heard, and I'll definitely have to like kind of check it out and really get my head into Thrice and whatnot.
Yeah, it has that kind of similar thing that like counterparts have going on, except they actually have clean vocals.
I'm enjoying that. I like that.
Yeah.
I like it. It is saucy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Shit.
is that really all you have to talk about, I guess?
I guess so. Unless you want to talk about the Strung Out album that I started listening to again.
All right, we'll save that for next week. How about that?
All right.
I ended up putting on a couple of new things that came out this week. One of them, well, not really this week, but like new things that came out kind of recently. One of them being Woods of Iglesia, which is a new single from my friend Daryl Perez's solo symphonic black metal project, Wretched Miscreation. And it was a kind of a nice exploration of his sound, going from the very standard, there's like pianos over black metal, symphonic black, and kind of dialing back into more ambient sounds, more drawn out noises, and almost like soundscapes at this rate. And it's just a really cool seeing how much he's evolved since his single Wretched. Oh no, it's not Wretched. It was, what was the single that he dropped relatively for what? Despicable. Yeah. It's kind of interesting seeing the evolution of his sound from Despicable dropping in 2017 and, well, kind of knowing the dude in college and just kind of hearing his work way back in 2014, 2015. And it's got me hyped for what's coming up in his upcoming album. And I've also ended up listening to a new single by Joji, who did that EP In Tongues back in November. He is also, again, as you might remember, Pink Guy, Filthy Frank. He's doing a lot of his chilled out, like R&B style trip hop. It's just really nice and mellow. He's got a new song out called Yeah Right, where it's kind of themed around having a bad breakup and kind of fucking up his life by partying all night and whatnot. And it's really emotional, but it's really soothing as well, and it kind of dives into its melancholy, just with a nice soothing element to it. I can't really say anything else other than just it's soothing, it's relaxing, it takes off the tension. And another thing I ended up listening to was the new Christian Beach single. He dropped a acoustic version of a song, Superman, that he is releasing for... Oh, he dropped it as part of, I think it was like Autism Awareness Month or something like that. And it's going to be coming off of his next album. I don't know if it's going to be the acoustic version that's on the next album or if it's going to be the full featured produced version that he normally does with these tracks. But I'm kind of excited for it. Yeah. What else? Did I put on anything else this week? Let's see. Listen to a lot more of Affinity and Beyond, and I'm looking to do a solo episode on it sometime this week. But yeah, that's kind of what I have been listening to, what I've been putting my ear holes, what have I been filling my ear holes with this last week. It's been a very music light week, I'd say. Just with a lot of my music listening I probably do in the car between drives from work or when I have free time that's not taken over by stuff. Yeah. But so why don't we cut this part of the show here real quick, and we'll put on some music jams that people can enjoy, and then we'll be right back in about 10 or so minutes with the review of They Don't End Pretty. Now, Angus, can you get me a little bit of filler content?
Sure.
Apologetic, sympathetic to the deep systemic cancer that's metastasized so far into our institution that it seems the only means of extracting it available is splattering it across the wall with a bullet in the brain pan. I just wish that we could find another way, not just blow it all away. But till that day you lead the way, and I'll be right beside you, standing on the rooftop screaming, fuck the police! We won't stand for this another single day, and they will hear us from the rooftop screaming, fuck the police! We will die before we let them see the day, when we're not standing on the rooftop screaming, fuck the police! We won't stand for this another single day. They will hear us from the rooftops and the hilltops and the mountaintops. Die before we let them see the day. They take it all away.
bloody bleeding face, my demons do my dirty work. Let me see your face. I'm not self-conscious, I'm just cautious as my mother, and I may be getting old, but I am not as bold as my brother. Values can be the death of everything you know. Nothing really matters when you're getting ready to go down the line. I was oblivious and crude to this sensitive ruse. For why was I dealt this hand? Was I meant to just not understand? And do you think this is a game? Is it just me or we both to blame? Even when it won't show, this doesn't feel the best. I wish I knew how to fix this mess. I'm not self-conscious, I'm just cautious as my mother, and I may be getting old, but I am not as bold as my brother. Values can be the death of everything you know. Nothing really matters when you're getting ready to go. And I said nothing really matters when you're getting ready to go down the line. I said this feels like the ocean. We might shipwreck, we might not make it back. Deep sea divers on the deck. I said this feels like the ocean. We might shipwreck, we might not make it back. Deep sea divers on the deck. I wanted to be something you couldn't find on a Walmart shelf. Guess I don't understand these types of things anyway, but I think I'd be a bargain. So we bought a bunch of beer and went down to the lake, 'cause I knew a couple unlocked boats we could take. Pull up the sails and let your worries float away. I said
when the monsters and horrible things had all gone away. I couldn't speak. Our eyes, they scan for unspoken truth, while the lens loses focus on our youth. I'd like to think the sun rises.
Alright, just gonna start recording now. Alright, and we are back, folks. We are back with the most recent review of Rockland Rebel Radio. Today, this very day indeed, we will be reviewing They Don't End Pretty, a brand new debut LP from Hadley-based party punk indie rock band Snowhaus. This song boasts 10 tracks, goes about 30 minutes long, and includes people such as, and let me get my list out, Nathan Galloway doing vocals and guitar, Andrew Ring on drums, Nick Ganacalera on bass, and then Zach Bloomstein on guitar and vocals as well. Now, it's unfortunate, but I have to say that also Nick and Zach aren't in the band anymore due to their differences, them having to take time for their own lives and whatnot. And so the band is mostly just, for now, Nathan and Andrew. But this, I feel like this record lives as a very nice testament to Snowhaus as a full band, and it definitely leads into what you can expect from them when you're going to see them live. Now, Angus, would you like to tell me a bit about your initial experience with this?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Is that what the album artwork looks like? Or is that something else?
What? Oh no, this is
that's something
Dave
else.
Savage.
Because I have a problem where my iTunes is adding music but not adding the artwork for it.
All right, well, this is what the artwork looks like.
Okay.
It's also up there too.
What's happening with the varials and counterparts things? But yeah, I have to say, actually no, I really don't know how to describe like my experience.
All right.
I don't know.
You don't know? You can't really. Can you like at least just tell me what this album made you feel? Can you grace me with some of your little opinions about this album?
I don't know how it made me feel. I mean, it was kind of like chill. Like I could just kind of like throw this on if I'm like playing a video game or something. It kind of like makes you think of like when I throw on like the chill or indie stations on like a Grand Theft Auto game and just kind of go.
Yeah. I can definitely feel that. I say that as opposed to some of those bands you'd hear on like that indie station on Grand Theft Auto. This is a lot more energetic and a lot more, I'd say, like party focused.
Yeah.
Like if you were to go to a basement show where everyone's drinking and having a good time, I wouldn't be surprised if Snowhaus was one of the bands on that very list. Yeah. And my initial experience of this, I kind of felt the same thing. Like this was like a nice chilled out indie music, but I think there's something to be said once you kind of dive further and really like read into what's going on here, because if you listen throughout the whole album, on like either a good speaker with with nice bass, or with headphones that really kind of like help you hear the whole experience, you'll hear really creative bass work all throughout the album. Honestly, one of the biggest treats for me on this record, the bass work. Like there are certain points, like I believe I've written it down here. Deep Sea, I think it was, where is it on here? Trapped, and on like the title track, They Don't End Pretty. Like there's some really nice little breaks where it's just bass and drum, and like the bass work there, while it isn't like made super prominent by the mastering, it has a lot of like fun exploration to it. It's not just standard bass work, and honestly, it's just one of my favorite parts of the record. If you even dive further, you could hear throughout the record a lot of cool drum fills, a lot of like tempo changes, a lot of stylistic changes that like I believe, what was his name again? Just for a look. See, Andrew's drumming. You remember Andrew too, like the pink-haired dude that was in the band when we saw them on your birthday.
Her birthday.
Like, right, we see Unit 1 back in January, and then right after we went to Somerville to see Daisy Bones. And at the very end of the show, there was the band that got cut off.
Yeah.
Like, you remember the pink-haired dude, the drummer?
Maybe. I don't really remember them. I don't even think we talked to them at all.
I talked to them a little bit.
I didn't, so I don't really...
Alright. But, point is, he makes a lot... He has a lot of interesting drumming patterns. He doesn't phone it in. He like puts his best into it, creates some interesting little fills here and there, and he creates these really, really fun drum beats to kind of even dance to. There's some where he's just going absolutely ham, like at the very start of They Don't End Pretty, but it makes it sound really nice and really fleshed out and powerful and driving. I love the drums. Yeah. And I love, if you also kind of listen closely, you hear like kind of little guitar harmonies going on here, like with the two guitars. One's a little bit louder in the mix, but the other's a little bit quieter. But it creates these nice energies that kind of go throughout the record and whatnot. Yeah. That's kind of like a huge spiel of mine about stuff I enjoyed about the record. Would you like to tell me a little bit about favorite songs of yours off of it?
I guess I do, but first thing I need to say something that's on my mind after looking at your notes. What you have done there is a crime.
What have I done?
That is a sketchbook. And you've taken notes in a sketchbook.
Well, yeah, I have.
That's horrible.
You can definitely do just that, man.
Yeah, it's a crime. It's not what you use a sketchbook for.
Well, I'm sorry, but I bought this.
It doesn't have lines.
I use this for note taking and whatnot.
It's terrible.
You're terrible.
You should get lined paper for that.
I feel like
that's what that's actually made for, is taking notes.
Well, you know what? I felt like this just allows me to like flush my creativity out more when I don't have the restriction of lines.
I guess that's kind of an excuse.
But would you like to just dive into the tracks you really liked on this?
I guess. I mean, whether I like to or not, I guess that's what I have to do because I'm here, right? Mm-hmm. That's the point.
Yeah.
Getting real aware of what's happening. But yeah, I have to say, probably like Kitchen Knives was probably my favorite track to begin with. Mm-hmm. I was just liking the way that like they just kind of like almost changed genres like 2 or 3 times throughout the song, and it just somehow flows.
Yeah, I can definitely get behind that.
I remember that was also the one that I think in that it was like that one had it, and then there was, I think it was the song after that had a thing where it just like turned into this like folk song with like the bass kind of doing that, like playing the like the root into fifth, and just like a doot 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 doot, and then just like the guitars just playing away, and it was just like, what?
You're talking about Smoke a Pack, maybe? Oh no, actually no. It might have been The World Is a Bitter Place.
Yeah, that was the track after that. I don't know. I have to say, I just that gets on there just for just how kind of funny that was to hear that. But then it's like, House of Tonic and like Deep Sea Divers were two other ones I liked just because of the fact they really changed like the style of how like they're playing their instruments multiple times through the songs, where it's like, I think even one of them, no, yeah, because I think it was Kitchen Knives is the one where it just like slows down and turns into this kind of like Earth Angel kind of song.
A little bit,
And
yeah.
it was just like, wow, that happened. And I liked it. I appreciated that.
I kind of have a deep love for Thumb War, just for how sugary the lyricism is and how fun it is. It's just flat out, you should dance to this if you're at a party and hearing this. Also just kind of want to say Deep Sea Divers, one of my favorites as well, because of its kind of slower, almost ballad-y kind of take on indie.
What in the world is a ballad?
Terrible. Take a lap.
Terrible.
Yeah, Deep Sea Divers even has like a nice little soundscape to it with like effects added to it. A lot of different. The guitars seem like they have a little bit of compression to kind of make them sound like they're underwater too. It feels like they know what they're doing with this. Also, just a shout out, real nice rock. Like it kind of finds a way of saying real nice rock twice, but make it mean completely different things.
It was actually kind of reminding me of actually the song was just making me think of what was it, DUI for like
DUI, yeah. The song by Pat Malone.
Yeah. It just kind of, I was hearing that, I'm like, it has that same kind of like lyrical form of lyricism, which I kind of like, I really liked.
Yeah, I definitely like, I can feel that, and just the fact that they just don't stray away from it. Like, she threw a real nice rock through my windshield. If I deserve that, I won't tell you.
Yeah.
Like, just, that was like kind of, it was just funny to hear something like that, hear a resolution like that.
Yeah, it was, I appreciate it. Yeah, I did really like that as well.
And just kind of I just love how they just end the song with all of them chanting real nice rock. Just it kind of gives it a lot more meaning than it really has, because it's a sugary party indie song, but it still has its meaning there, and it's just kind of funny hearing what sounds like a whole club just chanting it at the very end, like it's some sort of like holy figure they're worshiping that's just sitting up there on a pedestal watching them. Samson versus the real nice rock. Who wins? But I also just kind of want to give a shout out to Trapped, because it had a really nice bass line to it, and it was just really enjoyable as well. The band?
Yeah, you said Trapped. The band?
Shut up, Angus. Oh boy. Any more notes I really wanted to touch on? What do you think about the songwriting on this? Because I feel like the songwriting was really freaking creative on this. Like, there's a lot of points where you could obviously tell what the chorus is, but it doesn't really kind of stick to all the traditional songwriting styles.
I give it a very inaudible thumbs up for creativity when it comes to actually like writing these songs and following that sort of idea of any sort of like kind of like more underground kind of I'd say, well, you know, like at least they kind of like you could literally just, they kind of have that sort of indie thing about them where it just like it's indie because it just doesn't follow normal conventions for songwriting.
Yeah, like this is the indie we should definitely be hearing more often than not, and I definitely appreciate them for what they do as musicians. Yeah. Let's see, any other major notes? Just I really like the guitar tones as well. Those tones, they just a really nice indie tone.
I'm trying to remember, they only have, how many guitars do they have?
They had 2 throughout the record.
Okay, yeah, because I wasn't sure if they were one of those bands that had 2 or not, because I actually didn't remember what the lineup actually was from seeing them. I remember there's 4 members, but I didn't know if they both played. I liked them, and I liked how they were like, the both guitar tones were like very different but still work together.
Yeah, they had like some nice like little harmonies throughout them, with like the normal like rhythm guitar playing alongside bass, and just the way the lead was kind of sweeping over it, especially the moments where they're just going stuff like that, just creamy.
It was silly.
It was
Silly.
It was silly.
That shit was silly.
But is there any other closing thoughts you really had on this record?
Probably will. Probably not.
All right. I just want to say it. If I were to sum it up in about 3 words, maybe 5 words here: dancey, poppy, and delightfully indie. But
that was real nice rock.
It was real nice rock. But if I were to like say recommend this to someone and why I'd recommend it, it would be to anyone who, again, as you said last week, labels are like some of their music taste as indie, like, and will listen to anything that kind of sounds relatively similar to current car commercial music, but like
what?
But,
current car commercial music?
So you know how like a lot of like car commercials use like really bright poppy indie music now? Like
they do?
Yeah.
Huh. I used to just never see car commercials.
I mean, like some divert away from it, but I mean, a fair amount of car commercials and just commercials in general, like they're really simple ones.
I don't really know, because all I ever see are like commercials for like some sort of like for like phones and like technology and like laptops and computers and stuff, where they all play like the big single, the big radio single for that year. But I don't see any other commercials that like use like actual kind of indie stuff that isn't like that same back when it was like everyone was putting like the noise rock. What was it? What was it?
It was noise rock.
Yeah, putting like that. Well, no, what was it? It was it was the kind of indie that was just like the bass was like very fuzzy and distorted, and like everyone was just kind of playing that.
But kind of getting away from the point.
Yeah, I don't know.
And there's like people who listen to say some commercial indie and some underground indie. They'll definitely find something to love in this. People who love to digest music, I think, will find a lot in this album to love. People who are at parties and just want something to party to, they'll find something to love about this. And if you just want to go to an indie show but can't because like, you know, cost too much for gas and whatnot, just jam this record and you'll kind of get the experience, especially when you kind of hear the real nice rock at the very end. And if you get into it, you might be chanting along with it. Yeah. But Angus, do you envision anyone you'd be recommending this to? What would you sell them on it with?
Maybe. I don't know. I guess I'd just kind of throw it at them like unwarranted without their own consent. So that's just how I play music for people.
All right, coolio. That's coolio. Is there anything else you can tell us? Something that you can close with?
No.
Okay.
I already did the real nice rock thing.
Okay.
I can't do it again.
All right.
There's a fire. There's an ambulance.
Oh.
Outside our window, going into the gated neighborhood for people over the age of 50.
That's concerning.
Yeah. Rip.
I'd just like to.
I think we killed somebody. I think just talking in this room, we just killed somebody.
I hope not. But I guess we're going to close out this review here. If you want to listen to Snowhaus or any other material, specifically their full length or their EP from, it was 2016, you can check it out on most major streaming services. You can also find it on Bandcamp down in the description below. And you can even find their one single. It was Ice Fields that released back in January of 2017. That's on Bandcamp, not on any streaming services. And you can also buy the They Don't End Pretty Digipack CD for $10 on their Bandcamp. You can buy a shirt for They Don't End Pretty for $15 there as well. And any more merchandise I can see. Let me see. That's all they got for merchandise. Go and like them on Facebook. Go look at them on YouTube if they're there. And always support the musicians. Enjoy their music. Put it on while you're sleeping. Sleep till they don't end pretty. Have weird dreams involving smoking packs of dirty cigarettes and whatnot. And while you're here, you can give us a little bit of love. If you're watching this on Facebook, you can give our page a like. You can share this video around and show people how much you like indie music. If you are watching this on YouTube, you can subscribe to our channel. And you can go and check out our Facebook page as well. And you can also check out the Twitter, which really isn't getting much outside of Angus blathering nonsense onto it.
Like, comment, subscribe.
It barely picked you up, dog.
Someone will hear that, like, whispering gently to them.
But yeah, you can like, comment, subscribe, dibble. You can follow the Twitter at RocklandRR. You can follow me, the producer, at 3xr_Ian on Twitter and on Instagram and on Bandcamp, my fan account. And you can find Angus in random corners of the internet where he is being a weird scumbag.
You find me if you dare.
All right. We'll be diving out into another music break, and then we'll be right back with some music news, some upcoming releases, and some upcoming shows. And then, yeah, we will end the show there. Now, I'm going to give you some audio filler, just kind of rambling off some nonsense off the top of my head while I am doing something. So, I'm going to pause you right here. Gonna lower the volume.
I don't know what it is that I should say. We're all lost inside this crowd, hoping one day we'll be found. I'll follow the sound where it may take me. Yeah, I'll follow my heart until it breaks me. Overthink all of those things while you sit and wait for them to blink. Your soul is free, but love was never fair. To no other objects can we compare. I heard your call, you screamed resist. If only they saw me raise my fist, we could march on together until the fall. Isn't that what we're after all? To exist without these walls, to have neighbors you aren't afraid to call your own. We are home, still we find ourselves alone. We are home, and you'll never be alone.
Well, I guess there's one thing I regret. So I don't have many pictures of us together. Saul Williams wrote, only believers in death will die. And it always reminded me of you. 'Cause you were never afraid to die. And I was wrong when I said I'd be over this by the my sleep, I can only dream of you. These apparitions will have to do. I can be vulnerable. I can be a lot of things, but afraid is not one of them. You taught me this graciously, and I watched you survive when others would surely die. It just wasn't your time yet. You found a reason not to leave, and my last words to you were thank you for giving me a family, for giving me a home, and you just fell back to sleep. These active ghosts of you, they haunt me in my sleep. I can only dream of you. So these apparitions will have to die. How does one prepare for an out-of-body experience? How does one prepare for an out-of-body experience? How does one prepare for this? How does one prepare for this?
and sharps so shit because we might get my nose fine mama and machko but let's see that life and I half the life of any show my life with him while things him and a while yellow man no one I go by these and I so says to get no go hikes and it no said but with the one you walk or we physic and search of what out so and say me cast us not the shocks you what said takes see event style good dash so we night except for the beer we going back to this begin
And in the end, there's only one, and it's only gone. I was only in hope for motion to come. He had noticed no more over the summer. He showed me most of the portraits from I was molded to roll my eyes. When he showed me he was only involved for a lowly resolve, for so you call the pokes and narrows moments. He was trying only to come. I woke, I was done, but I waited it out. I wrote a couple verses and I saved them. Vowed to retain my humanity, waste some patience. Glitter than nobody was weighing me down on face in a crowd of about 30 fans. So you can't put the mic in a mic, dirty hands. If you try to understand how I fight for this life, don't light up stands. Light up stands is your suck looking for something. Suck one. Your Christian doesn't have butter. Better give her a list, turn her around and sound. Found like 1,000, you act with a power. It's actually cowardice. Don't mind, don't amount to shit. We never loved another really hours. And he spent a scowl and trying to play the card of someone who was powerless. He never had any hurt someone down a bit, and he lost everybody in the sound of which artist surrounded with the lovely sound of bliss. Give you music and love, you give us a pound of shit. You think we're mad so now you're somehow allowed around children. You don't remember what down your mind of threat. My guys, you've been out of steps, just don't try to deny it yet. You might start to believe you weren't vigorous because you weren't the women without sound a little pester rate limit. Remember back in bed, working on a piece of ours. You're like I'm sad, so fuck me. Like I might add to something. Your tri-act is crumbling, so fight back or just leave. Your mic jack is unhinged and mind's lashing a plug nick. I like rap in abundance, you're white trash and a punk bitch. Don't try masking and bust fiction with dry threats from bust lips. See, we're all better off without him. I guess that's the price of having good prices. No one would doubt him, not because he's right, but when money's tight and the drugs are right, then the young kids fly, get around the Dunkin' Donuts and the Trail of 14, getting drunk and high. Maybe a nose full of Adderall will change your mind about taking a life with dangerous eyes. I wouldn't tell her if you tell me who the side who is. Do you feel responsible? The all these children seen idling, someone who always thought they make it big, but couldn't wait for shit, and hangs around a suburb, burning nothing in his life but them. Do you see the problem here? You could have been the kingpin of this place, but you couldn't come near what it takes to run this sphere. You could have brought people together on the world around us. Your solo part of blunt, it could have been dope if you'd have found some ounce of finity to put down. At least we did more than Suicidal Souls did. That band, you owned it. I ran or do you posted it and posted it, you wrote shit. Look at me now, I'm posted Steve Ghost out. What's your first album? Can't make it without me, well that sucks. It sounds like some bad luck or bad habits from a sad fucker resulted in pull some bad blood. But with this song out, we can put it past us.
I apologize.
Like Dave
Dave?
or what was the other one? Like Andrew or something.
Andrew. Damn.
It's that one duelist who just keeps reappearing. He's the same guy, just a different name every time. But like they're all just generic names.
I feel that. I understand that. Yes, indeed. But we're not here to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. We're here to talk about music. Specifically, music news. And upcoming shows, basically.
I want to drink heroin every time you say that.
You're going to be drinking a lot of heroin, man.
Yeah.
You also just gave me the setup without even thinking about it.
What do you mean? You just keep doing that.
Well, I mean, you kind of talked about it, and I have no other segue other than, hey, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this.
We're not talking about this or this or this.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. I will give you that. But here, on the last portion of Rockland Rebel Radio, we will be discussing events and some really cool shit coming up down the pipeline. Down the pipeline, I say that way too much.
Really cool shit down the pipeline. Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah, it does happen.
Yeah.
But so coming up, hopefully I can get this out before these events happen. We've got 2 shows on this Tuesday. One with a bunch of people, but the most important person on that is Grand Entrance. That's at Patterson Creations. And then at the same time, we have Regime's return to the Bungalow Bar and Grill back up there on Tuesday with bands like Marble Mouth, Wretched Tongues, The Last King, and whatnot. And opening up for Ingested and whatnot. And yeah, keep an eye out for that cool-ass show. Also, this Friday, In Good Nature has a hometown show at the Knights of Columbus over in Leominster with Anyone Anyway, and Rocket Ship and Underglow, and Slime Boys. They have a hip-hop group opening for In Good Nature, and I like it.
Did that actually get picked up by the mics?
I don't know, man. We also have Party Ship, Young Abner. That's the thing Will is going to. You got another Bring Your Own Vibes with Kunda, Corvin's Breed, Acid Rainforest, Mick and Crazy J, The Cost of Living, The Absent Mind. Those are new guys that haven't been really playing there. I saw those guys playing. They were in the upstairs for Bodum. They played around the same time as SPC, and that was a pretty fun time. They've also got Aaron 95 and Young Dead Boy. Now, this show is a little bit different because they're going to charge you $5 to get in, basically.
Huh.
Instead of like the whole free show, donate what you can. So I don't know what the turnout's going to be considering that little change. They've also got a hip hop and art night, the Anchor release show at the Puzzle Factory that same night for Z the Strangers, The Anchor, which came out that day. Oh, not that day, 2 weeks prior to that day. We've so far we have artists like Young Green and D Breezy and Ken Textera and Nova. No idea who else the other three are going to be playing, but we have art hung by So Something Fibers, Snide Molly, Crystal Arena, Technicolor Costumes,
Nice.
Brian Fitzgerald,
Yo.
Ben Gibbon, and Cassie Watson. More stuff is to be announced. This is apparently a religious event too. They're goof. There's goofs. And is there any other? Ooh, an interesting show.
Is it BYOB? Bring your own Bibles.
Yes. There is a interesting show happening May 30th as well at the Hotel Vernon in Worcester, Mass. It's Unity Rise, Friendly Dog, and Boxer's Jaw, all playing together in a big folk punk show. And apparently it's Unity Rise's part of Unity Rise. They're on a tour from South Florida. And yeah, if you can, go and enjoy. Also, Dave Savage is going to be there. And it's his birthday apparently, so go buy him an NA. That's cool. And Worcester Food Not Bombs is bringing snacks. So if you're in Worcester and you want to go see a lot of folk punk, go see this. It's going to be a heck of a good time, I think. Now, just a reminder, Troll 2 has their show at the Thunder Road Music Club and Rock and Roll Bistro in Somerville. That's June 1st. Release show for Death Magnanimous. We've got Degrader, Regime, The Noble, Self-Inflicted, No Eye Has Seen, At the Alchemy, and Providence. This is just a show with Degrader ending. Like, this is a Saturday night show with Degrader as a headliner. I'm fucking impressed and excited. And I would love to go to this. We'll definitely see what can be done. Let's see. Geff has a show at the Uncharted. That is June 2nd. That is a Saturday as well. Same time as that. Let's see. Troll 2 on Austin and Elliott at Montauk Book Mill over in Green and Montauk, Massachusetts. You can find the event there. That is June 8th. Let me see. Black Market Flea by Boston Hassel. Ignore Rock and Roll Heroes. It's just a huge event with people bringing their records, tees, pins, ceramics, jewelry, zines, body care, tea, fiber art, vintage clothing, accessories, books, as well as tarot readings, haircuts, and live drawings, and more. That is June 10th. Go and look at it at the Cambridge Community Center in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Other events that are interesting that I haven't talked about before. Scarlet Canary, Ice Giant, Vivisepulture, Perennial Quest, and Screams of Hockamock. An event stacked with a lot of really good locals that you should definitely be going to. That is at Jewel Music Venue in Manchester, New Hampshire, June 16th. Go support the boys, because they're getting a lot better. My Guilty Pleasure, Missing Strings, and I believe the Caps are playing at Patterson Creations, June 22nd. It's going to be some good shit. I think the Caps are also playing a festival in Vermont. It's the Balloon Festival, and they're one of the bands on the music selection there. So I'm just really proud of the boys. They're gonna be they're getting out there and they're doing things. They're getting really good shit going. Let's see. We've also got we got Steez playing their first show with Marble Mouth Self-Inflicted at Drafters Sports Club and Drafters Sports Cafe in Dudley, Mass, and that is June 29th. At the same day, we also have Daddy Fest at Sammy's Patio with bands such as Daddies on Satellites, Professor Daddy and the Insecurities, City of Daddies, Daddy Face, Strange Daddies, Undaddied, The Band Daddy, and Brain Daddy.
Wait, what?
The big joke there is just they're making a daddy joke about it. Everything. It's Eyes of Satellites, City of Homes, the Morgana Phase, Strange Changes, Unbounded, The Band Dennis, Brain Death, and Professor Caffeine and the Insecurities.
Damn.
It's actually pretty weird seeing that, like, well, this is a poster for a show at Sammy's Patio, mostly known as like a metal venue. But it's also, again, kind of awesome seeing that Professor Caffeine and the Insecurities is going to be playing at Sammy's Patio. So, I'm going to just make a journey up to go see this, if I can afford it. But that is Friday, June 29th. And reminder, Sammy's Patio. And let's see, is there any other major shows coming up? July 6th, the Caps are live at the Banner. So if you're around, you should definitely be going to this and enjoy the Caps. You see Ouroboros, Added Color, Troll Teeth, and Kurtosis. That's at the 13th Floor Music Lounge in Florence, Massachusetts. If you can go. That's going to be good shit. Let's see, we got Night of Filth 6 with Box Cutter, Facelift, and more. That's July 14th. We have Inconvenience Store, The Floors Embrace, and Box Cutter, Facelift playing all at the Bungalow Bar and Grill in Manchester. That's a Saturday. Go out if you can. Let me see. Let's see. That I've already mentioned before. Let's see. We got Box of Birds playing in Cambridge, Massachusetts with the Mobros. That's August 1st. 877 Cambridge Street, Cambridge, Massachusetts. And yeah, just keep an eye out for that if you want to go and see the wonderful folk people in Box of Birds. Let's see. I believe that is all for shows that are announced right now. So just gonna go over. I think there was a bit of music news relatively recently. Actually, no, I don't think there was. It's just everyone get hyped for upcoming releases by Kanye West. He has a huge slew of releases set to come out starting either end of this week or in the middle of next week. Keep an eye out for all the funness that is coming out of the music scene here. We got a new single from the Caps coming out relatively soon. We've also got, who else? Justin Arena's looking to start recording relatively soon. Don't know when, but that long-awaited follow-up to The Pink Room is going to be a wonderful thing to hear. Apparently the band's being rebranded as well to fit the fact that this is not just Justin anymore. And yeah, just keep an eye open for next week's review. Z the Strangers, The Anchor, coincidentally coming out the day after the release show. And yeah, so follow us on the Facebook at Rockland Rebel Radio. Follow us on Twitter at RocklandRR. Follow me on Twitter, 3XR Ian. Same thing on Instagram. Same thing on my Bandcamp fan account. Follow me on SoundCloud at Northaven MA. Working on something. Follow the band. Oh, no. You should go to the YouTube channel. Go to the channel itself. Hit that little subscribe button. And watch some more videos from us too. And just enjoy. Enjoy the sweet sound of my voice and occasionally Angus's voice. And let's see. Is there anything else I can tell you guys right now? Expect a video about Dave Savage's Affinity and Beyond sometime this week. And yeah, keep hype. Keep hype and check out those releases as they come out, or wait for us to talk about them and then check them out after. But until then, take care, folks. Angus?